So thanks to all again for coming. So first, Antonio is the coordinator of the project. So he's gonna present the first part, the introduction to the overall workshop.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Gabriel, for this workshop. Thanks to CEA to organize it. I think we have nice facilities. So let's learn about privacy by design, privacy engineering, the like. Okay. There will be two presentations, one for me, which is a bit more general, and then we'll dig into a little bit the concept of the project. And Samuel Martin, who is actually in Spain, we will make the presentation. Okay. So just just a word about myself. An engineer by, let's say, background. And actually, I was the leader of the PREPARE project, which was probably the first in Europe dealing with privacy by design in preparation of the GDPR. And then we have currently a series of H2020 projects dealing with GDPR compliance. And PDP4E is one of them. We focus on the engineering aspect. Okay, I have been involved since PREPARE in many standardization activities related to privacy engineering. I put in red those where I'm very active, sometimes editors. Okay, whether it's privacy engineering or security engineering, and also IoT standards. Okay, they all go hand in hand, and actually the reason is because we do the privacy engineering because we want to integrate those aspects in the design of systems. So actually, I'm more a systems and a software engineering guy. So first of all, PDP4E, it's a method and tools for GDPR compliance through privacy and data protection engineering. Okay, it's H2020 project. We are in the middle of the road. It's a time to reflect where we are. The mission is to provide methods and software tools to systematically apply data protection principles and comply with GDPR. Okay. The partners, we have them here. Okay. And we have 6 objectives. One is to integrate privacy by design in engineering tools, then integrating privacy by design in the methods. Okay. Contribute to knowledge repositories, contribute to open source, foster the creation of an open engineering community, whether it's using the IPAN community or the standardization. I'll come back to IPAN. And having 2 use cases, one on connected vehicles and one on big data for smart grid applications. So in a nutshell, privacy engineering is about integrating the privacy concern in systems and software engineering objectives. Okay. So this is basically on top the practice, and in green what you want to inject to integrate. Okay. And of course you need guidance, so I'm listing here existing material standardization level, OASIS PIMRIM 27550, 21700, which is actually, I'll be a little bit more precise in a few minutes. So I'm not going to get into the details of it, but more give you a landscape of what's going on in standardizations, which I think reflect what's going on in the field. Okay. So first of all, IPAN stands for Internet Privacy Engineering Network. It's an informal community launched by EDPS in Europe. We meet maybe once or twice per year in conferences, and we try to share, to federate knowledge about privacy engineering. Okay, I was asked 4 years ago to do a wiki, which actually is, so we call it the IPAN wiki, where actually you have the list of standards that are ongoing. Okay. The page I'm showing is the ISO page, because this is where we have the most important numbers of standards being worked out. Okay. So what is happening is we have a big change in standardization. Actually, we have a big change in engineering. And the big change is because we have to take the ecosystem viewpoint. And this is because we have complex ecosystem, IoT, big data, smart cities. We have the domains, okay, we have technologies, stakeholders, and concerns. We do not only have privacy, we have to have privacy with safety, with security, and so we have to have a trust. Now, we try to take that into account, so you can see that there is a flurry of, let's say, standards ongoing. It's very much bottom-up. Each one has its concern. They try to let's say, promote their viewpoints, but at the end of the day, we need to integrate to have an overall view. Okay? So here I'm showing standards related to requirements, to risk analysis, to lifecycle engineering, and to the design of controls. Okay? I put in red 4 elements that are important, which I'm going to spend a few minutes on. That is the famous 27 series of on information security management system, 31700, 27701, and 27101. Okay. So actually, there is one standard that is very strong, but is pending, called 31700. It's privacy by design for consumer goods and services. So here it brings 2 viewpoints. One is privacy by design. The second is the consumer viewpoint. Both together, okay? And there was a fight just between you and me, you and us, that about it ISO level, because people didn't really wanted to focus only on consumer viewpoints. And this has been actually, the standard is not being done by the security people. It's done in another program committee, we call it PC317, okay? And basically the idea is what you want an organization to develop consumer products and services which the consumer will buy using and meeting 31700. So this standard will include a number of requirements which we have to follow. This is why assurance is an important part, and you will see that is an important part of our project, okay? But right now, what you see, what's going on, the first very important standard that's published this summer is 27701, which is this, okay? Extension of 27101, okay? 27001. Okay? In a nutshell, what it says is that an organization will use a privacy information management system to help manage the development of consumer products and services. So here you have 2 standards at stake. One on top is the 27001, 27002, 27701, which is actually a very big community. That's why people are working on this. You have to know that you have 40,000 companies that are standardized 27001, and now there will be lots of companies that will be standardized or let's say certified 27701. Okay. On top of that, we are building products, so we have 21700 in the landscape. So it could be that in the future you have to comply and be certified for the 2. The other trend is that we're working with complex ecosystems, and here I'm just listing 3 standards on reference architectures. And you can see that one it's on the cloud, one it's on IoT, one it's on big data. And you can see that we list here some roles and stakeholders: IoT users, IoT service developers, big data application providers, okay? So we have to understand what are the duties of each of those stakeholders. In particular, when it comes to privacy engineering, what should they do, okay? And one thing that is of interest is actually a standard that is being built. I'm the editor, 27570, Privacy Guidelines for Smart Cities. So it's again an ecosystem. And basically the concern here is about agreements and governance. So we put all the stakeholders together, and what are our obligations in terms of compliance, in terms of risk analysis, in terms of solutions, privacy by design, in terms of assurance. Okay. So those are the overall picture. So we can see it's very complex. And when you zoom into privacy engineering standards, you have, of course, a flurry of standards going. So I'm listing here them, but I'm going to concentrate on 2 of them. Okay, one is 37100 and one is 27550, which is actually was published in 2019 as a result of the Prepare project. I am the editor. I was the editor of this one. Okay. So basically, again, back to privacy engineering, we want to integrate privacy concerns into the life cycle. Okay, and when you do this standardization, you have to use existing standards. There's this one, 15288, system lifecycle processes, okay, which has the merit to be rather complete. It's not, let's say, fully detailed, but it's really good for a starting point, okay, and to get to standardization. So I'm putting here a copy of, let's say, a website, which is called online browsing platform. If you browse there and type the standards, you get, let's say, some information about the standard. So you nearly can browse into it and have some content. So you have the table of content, things like that. So I'm showing 15288. Unfortunately, ISO will have to buy. Okay, so you cannot get the copy of it if you don't buy it. Okay, but at least browsing it, you have an idea. Okay, so I want to highlight two aspects here for engineering in general. Is that there are 4 types of processes: agreement, so again in the ecosystem, so supply chain. Then organizational, what the company is doing, okay. Technical management, how you manage the project, and technical, so when you manage, you develop the solutions, okay. And you can see that it already states that there are 4 types of stakeholders: the organization, the project, the suppliers, and the assessors. Okay, the assessors is again for assurance. So when we do the things, we need to assess the processes to check whether it's done properly. Okay. So if you look at 27550, there are a number of concepts that have been added in addition to security. So one of them is beyond CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability. We have 3 properties or protection goals, we call them: unlinkability, intervenability, and transparency. Then we are using, let's say, existing approaches for threat analysis. One of them is Linden, is from University of Leuven, and has been well accepted. So you have here a number of threats that you can use as a reminder of categories that you have to deal with when you do your privacy threat analysis. Linden is, Linden is the counterpart of Stride, which is a Microsoft version of security threat. Then when it comes to engineering design, we have actually a number of strategies, and we have 4 of them. Well, 4 plus 4 actually, 2 types of strategies. One is data-oriented, and the other one is process-oriented. So in the data-oriented strategies, you have to minimize, to separate data, to abstract, to hide. And in process-oriented, once you have collected, you need to inform, to control, to enforce, to demonstrate. Okay. So I gave here an overall picture of what we're doing. And now I will give the floor to Samuel, because he will actually explain what the project is doing.